Hi there, this is James, the president for Essex Wolves. This is a installation tutorial for the HID Xeon projector lens bulbs with the Angel and Devil Eye feature on. This video is specific for a Suzuki GSX F600 1998. Now I'm aware that obviously there are different bulbs out there, different types of configurations. The good thing with the GSX-F, well, particularly my model, is that both bulbs are on all the time, switching from your low to your main beam. So my wiring up's relatively easy. There's not much direct wiring I have to do. If newer models where you've obviously got split bulbs where only the left will light up, and then obviously when you flip to your high beam then both will illuminate, that will require some more in-depth wiring. There's only a little bit of wiring that you need to do with this kit. Other than that, most of it is very straightforward and pretty much straight from the box. I'll do a quick show of what you've actually got to need to wire up to get it so it's all on the switch on the handlebars. Now in the kit comes all pretty nice and tidy, all comes boxed like that. There is no instruction manuals with it, so I'll quickly run through the bits that we've got in the box. Here's one I've unboxed earlier. And now this is obviously your main projector bulb with your Angel Eye feature in the Xeon bulb, and you've got your relative cables. They are labelled up, so it is quite self-explanatory, most of this. Obviously that's to do with your red Angel Eye, that's to do with your red eye, that's to do with the blue, and then these are your main bulb features. This is an inverter for your Angel Eyes. This is where you'll have to do a little bit of wiring to do with this inverter and to do with the Angel Eyes. If you're not too fussed about the Angel Eyes and you're just happy just to have the main bulb in, most of it is just plug and play. It's only when it comes to the Angel Eyes that you have to do a little bit of wiring yourself. Then obviously you've got some further bits of wiring. You've got your ballast here. That'll increase your voltage for your lights. Then you've obviously, that is to do with your Angel Eyes. And then obviously you've got your fuse and your power source, your earth cable, and your plug. This is a H7 one, and then that will plug straight into the back of my headlights, straight into the main power source. Now obviously it all goes together quite easy. It's all pretty much colour coded, and you can't really go wrong when wiring it up. I don't think it would even actually allow you to go wrong when wiring it up. So basically your complete circuit will look a little something like this. So obviously you clip in to your main bulb, so that will make sure you follow the clips. That's that clip. That's that clip done. And then you've got your power source, which is here. And then that's your 2-pin. You just got to make sure, the only thing that you've got to make sure that you do is that you plug it in the right way. That's your earth wire, that's your power source cable, that's your fuse, that goes into the back of the socket. This plug here is also to do with your light, so that will just plug in to, just make sure you get it the right way around, plugs in like that. And then that is pretty much your complete circuit until you get to your Angel Eyes. Now your Angel Eyes again are pretty self-explanatory. However, I don't think it matters too much which ones you plug these into, because they're not really labelled up. I think as long as it just gets the power going through, I think it's not going to be too much of an issue. So once that's plugged in, then you can plug this in, and then obviously you've got these two wires, which I'll get to in a second. Now that is your complete circuit. That obviously goes to your battery. That is your earth wire. That plugs into your main socket on your bike, and then obviously the bulb's installed into the headlights. Now with this, the best feature I found, or the easiest way I found to do, is to wire it up to the side light. So when your side light's on, you'll have the red and blue angel light on, and as soon as you go to your main light, that's when the Xeon bulb will come on, and obviously then you can flick the switch on to your high beam. Now this is the clip for the side light. It's only 2 wires, which I've basically stripped the insulating tape off, cut it in half. Your black and white is your power source, and your brown leads to the switching mechanism. All I've basically got to do is I've just got to buy some connectors, some waterproof connectors, and then basically what I'll do is with all 3 of these, I'll basically connect them all into their necessary places, and that basically will be wired up, and then basically that will just plug back into the side light, and then this will all be good to go. The only real issue you're going to have is obviously where placing the wiring. You may have to obviously add extensions onto the power cable depending how far your battery is, if your battery's at the front or the back of the bike. Other than that, it appears to be quite simple. However, the first step we're going to do is we're going to install the main bulb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all have to go towards the casing, opening the casing to be able to actually install the bulb, which we'll get to next. Okay, so the next part of this is what you want to do is you want to separate the front so you can get access to the bulbs to install the main section of the lights. Now inside here is like a black silicone which obviously keeps the unit together, and to get that out you need to heat. A lot of people say you can just bake it in an oven. I haven't got a very good oven, so I'll be using a heat gun because my oven's quite bad. But yeah, you can, I think it's about 120 for about 10-15 minutes. Should start loosening up the silicone, and then you just want to use a flathead screwdriver just to pull them apart. You don't want to, you want to be a bit careful with this as not to break the casing. I mean, this headlight's quite damaged anyway, so I've got to be extra careful. So I'll probably, what I'll do is I'll probably just start heating it up now, and I'll skip forward to when I start separating it. Right, so a bit of update regarding to try and get the case off. We had a massive disaster. One word of advice: if you are looking at changing your bulbs, the light case does not come apart as newer cases do, regardless of whether you heat it in an oven, you use a heat gun, because there's certain components that are solidly fixed to the back of the light. So I've had to, because it was already too late, I'd melted half the light, and I've sort of tried to melt it back on. Fortunately this is all going to be covered by fairing, so that you're not going to see this anyway. Unless you're willing to make a permanent adjustment to it, I'd advise strongly not to fit these bulbs, because I've had to saw them, because I've got, fortunately I've got, I'm going to get another spare one of these just in case obviously it doesn't go through its MOT. I can obviously replace it, because I've had to saw the, because I got to a point where I've gone too far and a bit broke, so I've had to saw the back off just to get access to the bulbs. Right. Like I say again, unless you're willing to make permanent changes that you cannot rectify or go back on, do not, like, I'd advise, deadly advise against this. If you've got a spare headlight unit, then you know what's the worst that could happen. Give it a crack. If it doesn't work, then you've got a spare to replace it. Like I say, it was such a sealed unit, it wouldn't come apart. It ended up having to be sawed, the back ended up being sawed off because I broke a bit anyway. And it's a completely fixed unit, it's not designed to come apart. Once it was sealed for good. Now obviously I've removed all the components, but this is how the light is when you get it. So you need to take off the wrapping first of all, and obviously, other than that triangle that I showed you earlier, these are the components that you need. So you obviously need your light, your cables, then you need your rubber seal, and this is like a plate, and then obviously you've got another little plate to secure it. You'll need, you won't actually need that because I used that earlier for something else, so you don't actually need that, but what you do need is a small Phillips head, because you've got some retaining screws in here which you need to take out, because you need to get this nut off the back here. Now obviously this is nice and easy. Just all you have to do is push it slightly. How did I get this out last time? Just, there's a little grooves there, so all you have to do is push down, pull it slightly up, and then that will come out, and that there will release the bulb. Now be obviously very careful with that. You don't want to try and get dirt on that, so I'll put that off to one side. Now underneath here you've got 3 retaining screws. These you need to take this plate off. So just unscrew them, and again just make sure you do it over a nice clear work surface so you don't lose the screw. There's one. Try and keep all your bits together. Get out. 1, 2. And then the third one, all you have to do is just very slightly loosen it off, and then that plate will come off altogether. Right. All you need to do is remove the bolt, and then once you've removed that, you are now free to place it into your headlight. Now note that you've got 2 grooves here. You want to feed the wires, all the wires, through this bottom groove here, and they do actually sit in quite nicely. Like I say, this is been quite well designed. The only problem is you've got this one to do with the Blue Angel eye that sort of sits off to one side. I don't know why they didn't actually feed it round the back there, to be honest. It's, yeah, very strange. Anyway, so we tuck that through. You could probably remove that yourself if you wanted to feed that through. I might actually just do that after this demonstration, but yeah, basically feed your wires through, and don't worry about too much about how the headlight sits, because you will find when you come to putting the plates on, it will automatically set your light so it is the right way up, because that was one of the problems I was having when looking at this kit. I didn't actually know if I was going to place it upside down or not. So once you've got that in, you then get your plate here, and it goes, it's curved slightly, so you want to do it so it sort of curves upwards towards you, and it just fits nicely over. This is where it's going to knock me off. Right, it fits nicely over there, and there's a groove just there which you can see, which sits at the top. Now this is why I say don't worry about too much about the bulb placement, because it will only allow you to place it in one way. The only thing you've got to be careful of is you don't want to trap the wires. So once that is in, make sure you push that right down, and then that will sit nicely, and now that will help pull your bulb tight to the light, and it will sit like that. So you'll notice there is a little mark there which shows that should be at the bottom, and it curves it so it points to the side of the road as well, so it shouldn't glare in people's eyes. So once you've got that part on, you then want to put your rubber cap over the top. No, that's a lie. What do you want to do next? Sorry. Yeah, I was right. Then you want to put your rubber cap over the top, and once you've got your rubber cap on, again that wants to be so it's pointing, so it curves in towards the light. Once you've got that on,
Then you want to put the next clip over the top. Again, it'll only allow you to put it one way because of the grooves. So that goes over the top, and then you put your bolt back on. And you want to screw that nice and tight. Just be careful because you don't want to damage the threading on. So if it doesn't go on, just give it a little adjustment, because the one thing you do not want to do is damage the threading on your wire. So once you want to get a nice, and that will just pull it in nice and tight. Hand tight is good enough, I'd say, because obviously you've got that one wire for the bolt that's sitting there. You've got quite a lot of wires, so you don't want to do it too tight because you don't want to damage those wires. But good hand tightness, and when I say hand tight, like you still want it tight, but do it with your hand, not with a tool, because you don't want to cause any damage. Actually, I think that is pretty much it. And then the bulb, that no movement whatsoever, that is in there and that is not going anywhere. Now once you've done that, you don't want to put the bulb in yet. You want to put back your retaining plate again with the screws. Again, you want to be mindful you don't want to damage the threading on it. And again, 3 screws. Just remember, just make sure you've got a nice, good, clear work surface. It just makes it a hell of a lot easier. Now, how's that? Right, now that is nice and on. Good stuff. And then you want to be, again, very careful with your bulb, because you don't want to damage the filaments in any way. And then that just, again, slots only in one way. It'll only slot in one way. Once your bulb sits in, then you want to replace your retaining clip. Again, make sure you go underneath the cables there, and then it's basically same way you took it off, but in reverse. Slightly angle it to one side, and then once you get in line, push it in, and then push it in, and then sometimes these things can be a little bit fiddly. There we go, and that's in. And that is how you fit your bulbs, and they fit perfect. So if you get the specific kits for your bulb size, they do fit. You can't complain with the fits. They are snug and they're perfect. They're absolutely spot on fits. Right, I've finally completed the lights. As you can see, it's not a pretty job. A lot of glue, a lot of taping just to hold it so the glue holds better and dries better. But it's all back together. So remember, and this is, I've had to try and melt the lighting unit back together. This is the problems I've had, because it just wouldn't separate. So I ended up doing a bit of damage to the actual lighting unit. Good thing is, none of this will show at all because it's hidden by the fairing. But that's the front, that's what they look like. As you can see, 2 angel eyes in there, and obviously all the cabling out the back. Right, just a quick update. I actually forgot to start recording when starting doing the wiring. So as you can see, we're back out the back at the bike. Now, if you remember correctly, we had the power cables, which I showed you at the start of the video. Ignore this. This is something else which I'm doing. So ignore that. That's nothing to do with it. It's got the power cables, which nicely run up. To make sure before you connect the power cables to run the cables underneath this first. And they can run up quite nicely either side for your left and right. And then what I'm going to do, you've got the fuse, the whatever they are, the boxes that go with them, which I'm going to cable tie underneath here because they tuck up quite nicely. As you can see in that one, really you can see it. The light's not very good, but one's already tucked up there, and then the remainder of the cables all pull through this side. Now, once, and obviously for the other side, for the other light, once I've got the light back on at the front and I've got this all plugged in, I'm going to neaten all these cables up and then show you the finished product. But to be fair, most of this is quite easy because the lights are in, the cables are ready to go, everything's done. All you've got to do is remember, obviously you need to earth it, and then the rest is all plug and play. The only thing I will show you is obviously that's my side light there. Now, as you remember earlier, which I've got in here, that is the connector for the side light, which goes in the back. Don't know if you can see that. It goes in the back there. Now, obviously, I cut it. That's the side light wire there. Obviously, I cut that, the wires there, and then added, using butt connectors, the plugs for the angel lights, which should now work off the remote off the handle, but obviously we'll find out. So I need to connect these up to the power on the switch, and then plug that in as well, and then we'll test everything, and then I'll just give you a quick rundown of all the cables again quickly where they've all gone. Right, a little bit of an update, people. It is now what's the time? It's now 10:30. Slight problem with the wiring. I managed to get the Xeon bulbs going, however I couldn't get the devil eyes going, and I think I've given a bit of false information earlier on, and I got my lives and my negatives confused. So when wiring it up to the side light, this is your side light here, the black and white is your neutral, so your black goes with your black and white, and your reds go with the brown. That's your positive. Reds are positive, brown's positive, black and white's neutral, your blacks are neutral. So the finished product is, so side light, the devil lights come on, full beam, Xeon's on, and then if I hit my that's full beams, dipped beams and side lights, and that is now installed. Okay, so the wiring's complete. I've sort of, you can't really see, but all the wiring's tucked up. It's all nice, and it's a little bit wobbly, that one, but most of it is all nice and secure, all neatly tucked away. Cable's finished. I've left that untaped so I can unplug it if I need to swap the headlights over. This is just taped up just to hold it in place for the time being, until I'll put all the fairing back on, and then all this will be tucked away in the fairing. But that's pretty much it, and then the wires run down there to the battery. Good night.
Finish it off, basically when you're wiring up your projector bulbs, they go quite easy. Just be mindful of your casing. If you had the same problems as me, the likelihood is that you're going to probably damage it, and you might have to saw the back off, so be prepared for that. Also be prepared that if you do have to saw it off and that you aren't able to replace the old bulbs because you're going to have to glue and tape the rear casing, you've just got to be prepared that it might be an MOT failure if you haven't got the alignment correct. And therefore, if you haven't got a spare headlight unit, then you're stuck and you won't get an MOT for your bike. Thirdly is, it all wires up quite easy. You do connect it to the battery, just make sure you earth it. Make sure you neaten up your own wires. I won't show you how to neaten them up because it's down to your preference of how you want to do it. And lastly, make sure that when you're doing the angel and devil eyes, you to obviously wire up to your side light, you just cut the wires in half, put some butt connectors on. The two reds connect to the brown and the two blacks connect to the black and white wire. So the brown is your live and your red's your live, and your black and white is your negative, and your blacks are your negative. And that's pretty much it. And thanks for watching my video. Obviously, if you liked it, please give us a like down below. And please follow us on our page. You can also follow us on Twitter as Essex Wolves, Instagram, and also on Facebook. We have our own Facebook page. But thank you very much for watching this video.